So today we're going to dive into a really powerful and honestly a pretty relieving idea about money. We're going to talk about how to build a saving system that actually has an endpoint, one that's designed to bring you peace, not just more pressure. Let's get right into it.
When you and I talk about saving money, there's usually this one picture that comes to mind, right? It's this constant, never-ending activity. It feels like a financial treadmill that you're just supposed to stay on, forever.
And that's the idea we're all sold, isn't it? The saving is this permanent state of not having enough. You're always a little bit behind, always playing catch-up, and always feeling that pressure that you should be putting more in. It's a job that just never, ever ends.
But what if we brought this word into the equation? Finished. Not perfect, not maxed out, not some crazy huge number, just finished. Complete enough that it stops demanding all your attention all the time.
And this, right here, this is the absolute key. A savings plan that's always a work in progress doesn't actually make you feel secure. It really does the exact opposite. It puts you on high alert, constantly checking, constantly worrying, constantly managing. It creates vigilance, not peace of mind.
So if we want to build a better system, first, we have to get really clear on what savings is actually for. And it requires a pretty fundamental shift in how we think about it. It's not about the returns on a spreadsheet. It's all about how you can respond when life inevitably happens.
Okay, so let's break that down. We're so often told that saving is about, getting good returns, beating inflation, or showing off how disciplined you are. But its real job is way more important. It's there to absorb shock, to stop you from having to make bad decisions under pressure, and, this is the big one, to create space.
Think about it. When something totally unexpected happens, your car breaks down, you get a surprise medical bill, the very first thing that vanishes is your ability to think clearly. Panic just takes over. Savings buys you that mental space back.
And with that mental space, suddenly you have options. You're not backed into a corner anymore, forced to take the first, and usually the worst, deal. You actually have the room to look around, evaluate, and choose a much better path forward.
And that's really the ultimate goal here. You get to move from just reacting out of fear to responding thoughtfully and deliberately. Now that is the true power of a well-designed saving system.
Okay, so how do we actually do this? How do we build it? Well, the answer isn't some crazy complex spreadsheet or a fancy new app. It's about bringing dead simple, powerful clarity to your money by giving every single dollar a specific job to do.
Most savings accounts don't fail because they're too small. They fail because they're too vague. That one single pot of money is supposed to be for emergencies and a vacation and a down payment on a house and just general peace of mind. When every dollar you have is being pulled in 4 different directions at once, your brain can never really rest.
So the solution is actually just separation. You create different buckets. One is for true, I did not see that coming emergencies. Another one is for life's predictable but uneven costs, like car repairs or annual insurance bills. And then there's a third bucket, and it exists for one reason and one reason only, to let you sleep at night knowing you've got a buffer.
And this gets us to what a finished system actually feels like in real life, because it's not really about hitting a specific number in your bank account. It's about a change in your behavior, a change in your mindset. It's a feeling that you arrive at.
So how do you know when you're there? Well, the signs are pretty clear. You stop obsessively checking your balance. When a surprise expense pops up, you don't treat it like a personal moral failure. Nope, you just see it as a problem that has a home, a designated solution. You know exactly which bucket to pull from, and all that mental anguish just disappears.
And what's so great about this idea is that it grows with you. It adapts. When you're early in your career, a finished system buys you flexibility. The room to take a risk or make a mistake without it being a total disaster. In midlife, when you have more responsibilities, it buys you margin. And later in life, it just buys you calm.
Now, this is a trap so many people fall into. They treat their savings like it's an investment, and they worry that it isn't working hard enough or beating inflation. But that's not its job. The job of savings is to be stable, to be there when you need it, and to be completely, boringly reliable when everything else feels totally uncertain.
So all of this leads to the final and maybe the most difficult piece of the whole architecture, learning to recognize when you actually have enough, and then giving yourself permission to stop.
A truly finished system has a defined boundary, an edge. You get to a point where the buckets are full enough to do the jobs they were designed for, and you just stop adding to them. This isn't being arrogant or lazy, it's about restraint. It's making a conscious decision that this particular tool is now complete. Because remember, the goal here is peace of mind, and endlessly piling up more and more cash doesn't actually guarantee more peace. In fact, it can do the exact opposite. It can steal focus and resources away from other really important parts of your life, like investing for your future or, just enjoying the present.
So, as we start to wrap this up, if there is just one single idea to take away from all this, one concept that can totally change the game for you, it's this.
That right there, that's what finished really means. It's not about being wealthy, it's about quiet. It's about having a system that's so clear and so reliable that it just fades into the background, freeing up all your mental energy for everything else in life that truly matters. That is the architecture of finished savings.